Today we are going to review the past continuous tense. Remember that in the past continuous tense, we use the verb to be as an auxiliary verb. And the verb to be has two forms, was and were. And we are going to use them according to the subject. For example, I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, you were, they were. Besides the verb to be, we are going to have a main verb. And the main verb is going to be with ing at the end. For example, watching TV. Then we are going to have these two verb forms to form the past continuous tense. Remember that to form the negative, we add the particle not after the auxiliary verb. In this case, after was or were. I was not, you were not watching TV. Don't forget that we can use the long form or the short form. The short form is called to contraction. In this case, for this tense, we have I was not watching TV or I wasn't watching TV. You were not watching TV or you weren't watching TV. And we do in the same way for the other persons. He wasn't, she wasn't, it wasn't, we weren't, you weren't, they weren't, followed by ing ending verbs. To do the question, remember that we put the verb to be at the beginning. Was I watching TV? Were you watching TV? And we answer this kind of question with an affirmative or a negative short answer. For example, let's see. Were you watching TV? Yes, I was, if it is affirmative, or no, I wasn't, if it is negative. Was he watching TV? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. And in plural, we are going to have, were you watching TV? Yes, we were. No, we weren't. But remember that we have other kind of questions that are called WH questions. In those cases, we are going to write at the first of the sentence the WH word. In this case, we have the examples of what, where, why, who, or how, followed by the auxiliary verb was or were, the subject, and then the ing form of the main verb. What was he eating? Where was she doing? Why was he shouting? We use the past continuous to describe a long action in the past that started before a specific time. The long action is continuing after the specific time. Yesterday at 7 a.m., Maria was eating breakfast. At 3 p.m., Peter was working. Past continuous is used to describe a long action in the past that is interrupted by a short action. It is used past simple for the short action that interrupts it. Let's see the examples. I was living in London when I met Jane. Or we can change the order of these activities and say, when I met Jane, I was living in London. Both sentences are correct. And remember that after the adverb went, we are going to use the past simple. Or another way to write or mention these two activities is using while. While I was living in London, I met Jane. Or if we change the order, we have I met Jane while I was living in London. After while, opposite to when, we have to use the past continuous tense. The past continuous is used to set the scene in a story before the real action starts. It is used the simple past for the real action. Bobby was walking in the park. A family was playing soccer and dogs were barking. If you see here in this paragraph, we have the description of this photograph. Then suddenly a man ran towards them. Another use for the past continuous is to describe annoying habits or annoying repeated action using the frequency adverb always. David was always smoking. Nobody liked the manager. He was always shouting. Past continuous is used to describe actions that happen at the same time. While my father was washing the car, my mother was cooking dinner. Mark was reading while Claire was painting. Let's see if you check some aspects about the past continuous. Exercise 1. Put the verbs in brackets into the past continuous affirmative form. There we have an example. When I woke up this morning, the verbs, then in brackets we have the verb sing. We have to transform the sentence using the past continuous. Then let's see. When I woke up this morning, the verbs were singing. Okay, a volunteer to do the number 1 in this exercise, please. A volunteer, please. Only one volunteer. No volunteers?
The telephone rang while I was having a shower.
Yes, Fernanda, can you repeat it, please? It's correct. Can you repeat?
The telephone rang while I was having a shower.
Yes, while I was having a shower. Thank you so much, Fernanda, for your help. Okay, another volunteer for the number 2. Eduardo, please.
Sería, they were cooking dinner when we arrived.
Exactly. They were cooking dinner when we arrived. Thank you, Eduardo. Thanks a lot. Let's check another exercise. Put the verbs in brackets into the past continuous question form. Example, in brackets, it rained when you left the party. Transform it. Was it raining when you left the party? A volunteer for number 1, please. You have to use the past continuous.
I saw you on sale last night in London. Where you going?
Exactly. Can you repeat it without pauses? Please.
I saw you on sale last night in London. Where you going?
Where were you going? Exactly. Thank you, Fernanda, again. Thank you so much. Number 2, please. Another volunteer for number 2.
What was he, no, what was doing when
No,
I
it's
called
okay,
him?
Mayrani. What was he?
What was he when I called him?
No, because we have the main verb do.
Ah, okay. What was he doing when I called him?
Yes, thank you so much. What was he doing when I called him? Okay, thank you, Mayrani. Exercise number 3. Put the verbs in brackets into the past continuous negative form. Use the contracted form. Example, Julie was called because she, in brackets, wear a coat. Julie was called because she wasn't wearing a coat. Number 1, please, a volunteer. Please, Jennifer. Jennifer Alexandra, can you help us?
¿No me escucha, profesor?
Now, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't call you last night. My telephone wasn't working.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. Wasn't working. Thanks. Okay. Another volunteer, please. Another
Sorry. Sorry, what did you say? I wasn't listening.
Yes, Mayrani. Thanks a lot. I wasn't listening. Thank you so much for your participation and your attention to this presentation. Okay. Thanks a lot. Ok. Entonces, recuerden que el día de hoy es el último día para que puedan subir sus actividades, ¿sí? Del foro 1 y 2 junto con su portafolio de evidencias. Y el día 10 de octubre, tengan mucho cuidado que no se les pase porque se va a cerrar el examen de unidad 1 y 2. Por favor. No sé si alguien desee comentar algo, alguna aclaración o alguna duda que tenga